Hi Ashley, how you doing? Okay, well actually I just closed it down, but I had a window open just a second ago and it was actually a message that you had written a couple of weeks ago. And in that message you had expressed your concern about how this project will look in your final student portfolio. And I just want to commend you on that content of that comment, and because that is showing an excellent understanding of where this is going. Um, uh, Obviously, we're looking for presentation here. Um, you know, the project, after all, is a school project. It's not an actual Olympic bid. And I think that a lot of students kind of got so carried away with the project itself that they forgot that, okay, this is a presentation and it's got to follow all the guidelines of good, solid visual communication. So you connecting that to your final presentation in your final student portfolio, I think is smart. So I wanted to address that because that's how I tend to gear, as you know, that's how I tend to gear my critiques in general is toward two things: your expectations of the professional job market and your all important presentation of your final student portfolio here at RIMCAT. So that said, let's open you up. And I want to talk about this, as I don't want to talk about the content anymore. I think that your actually, I shouldn't say that. I do want to talk a little bit more about the content, but nonetheless, I just want to say that your research was excellent throughout the project. I really think you came up with some outstanding um, um, conceptual methodology, and that is very apparent in the presentation and in your research. Okay, the presentation itself has some weak points in terms of what we would be looking for in a final portfolio presentation. And I teach plenty of portfolio classes, so you're in luck. One of the things I primarily do teach is portfolio. So, all right, so this as a portfolio project, I would say the first thing is this doesn't look like a presentation. It just looks like you're showing this information. It doesn't look like it has been carefully concepted and carefully composed in a visual presentation that takes into consideration both the timing of the message, the content of the message, and the expectations of the viewer. Really important. I think the first thing I want to mention that is to your detriment is if I Command R here, we're going to see that your pages are 8.5 by 11. Times 2 is 11, is 17 by 11. So that is tabloid size, and is it the most interesting? It can be. I think that if we were to go back to week 1 and take a look at those issue examples, and if you go through this discussion board, you'll see a few of your classmates have already submitted their work to issue. That's ISSUU, and that's that magazine rendering software program, online software. So the presentation itself is great. This page here doesn't look like it belongs to this page. So my suggestion is I would like to see more of a horizontal composition. I think it would hold better with the subject matter as well as the nature of the geographic images. So that in mind, I'm thinking maybe even a 14 by 11 page might suit. Even 10 by 8 is better than 8.5 by 11. But so anyways, and then what I would do is I would design in spreads. So I have this set up in spreads here. I don't think you did. I think you had your view set up as a single page view, and that's how we started looking at your presentation. And is this interesting? It's just not. So I went to I went to view, and then I went to take a look at the double 2-page spread, and I saw that, well, this isn't really set up in, I guess this is set up in spreads where you have your pictures and your information on the left, and then you have this page on the right. But what this looks like to me is that you are, it looks like you're trying to box off part of the page to use instead of letting your message flow within the entire spread. You're just trying to say, okay, this is where Project Mission belongs, right here, and it can't go anywhere else, and nothing else can interact with it because it's in this box, it's in prison. Okay, do you see what I'm saying? And then the same thing on this page. It's the logo presentation. Okay, logo's in prison. It can't interact with anything on the page because it's locked up. See what and that's the feeling I get when I look. Also, in the presentation wise, if you take a look at the right-hand page side, take a look at how all the graphics jump around from page to page. Shouldn't that be consistent? Yes, it should. I mean, all of that stuff, every one of these headlines should fall in the same spot on the same page. Okay? As far as presentation goes, I would recommend just probably going through some of those issues. Well, you know what? Let's do it right now real quick. So I just want you to see a good use of white space and good timing and cadence for the message. And I think that was in week 1 project, week 1, phase 1. Oh, I think it was right here. I hope so. I don't want to spend too much time looking around for this thing. I can never find it. What happened? Okay, yeah, I found it. Good, cool. So these things right here, if you I mean, they're pretty good presentations, but look at the page, look at all the white spaces being used. Look at the text is anchored in the same spot on each page. Well, symmetry, but yes. And see the page, the text starts right there again. Note the baseline grid for the headline as you move from page to page remains consistent throughout the presentation. So we don't really have any problem where we're looking for where the text starts. We know it's going to start roughly in this area on every page. And that's the consistency I think that you are lacking in your presentation. We don't have that luxury because this is jumping around on each page. You see what I'm saying? See that? Okay, so my suggestion moving forward for your portfolio is to try to establish more white space, more timing, and more of an elegant way to deliver the message as opposed to like boom, boom. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Here's another. Where's the other example? Here it is. And this is another good one too. Okay, note the white space. Okay, here is all of this area is dedicated to image and white space. Now I think, okay, and then here we have our text. And the text does kind of jump around from page to page. So this could be more consistent, but you can see a marked improvement in the consistency and how it works from page to page. See what I'm saying? Okay. And all right, so if you have any questions at all, please let me know. But that's the way that I see it moving towards portfolio. The work is outstanding. One thing I highly recommend is a credits page. Every one of these images has to be, well, it looks like you credited them in body. So that's fine. Awesome. Okay, excellent. All right, great job. If you have any questions, please let me know. Thanks.